Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Last week I went to see Chicago the Musical at the Saenger Theatre in New Orleans. So here I am traveling in the car on the way to the theater. Now I've arrived at the theater. The side of the theater actually runs along Rampart Street in New Orleans. When I entered, I noticed how beautiful the lobby was. And I took a look at the merch booth. When you walk in, the stage appears to be empty with just like a black curtain, except for one chair in the left corner. It's a black chair with a black hat on it. This is me heading to my seat. This production was the national tour. This tour began in November of last year and will finish at the end of this month, which is June 2025. This show was a part of the Broadway in New Orleans series for this year. So of course I knew the song All That Jazz because that's one of the most famous songs from the show. When Block Tango started, everyone was freaking out in the audience. I love the song Roxie. I mean, everybody knows that song from the show as well. I think there might have been an understudy on the night that I saw the show for Amos. So the musical's set in the 1920s in Chicago. The musical is about fame and crime and murder. What I know of the musical is that a lot of big celebrities will do like a limited engagement in the Broadway production. After seeing the musical, it makes a lot of sense why a lot of big names sign up to do the roles of like Roxie or Velma Kelly, because the show is about fame. And I feel like that's something that a lot of these celebrities can relate to, and so it makes sense they want to do the show. So the original Broadway production opened in 1975 and it closed in 1977. And the production that's currently running on Broadway right now, that's been running pretty much my entire life, that was actually a revival that opened on Broadway in 1996. And Chicago is the longest running American musical in Broadway history. And the musical is based on a play of the same name. The music is by John Kander and the lyrics are by Fred Ebb. The book is by Fred Ebb and Bob Fosse. Bob Fosse at the time was a famous choreographer, dancer, theater maker, and stage director. The story is based on true crimes, and the musical is like a satire on this idea of the celebrity criminal, as well as the corruption in the criminal justice system. I've always known of the musical Chicago, but I've never seen a full live performance of the musical. In this production, Velma Kelly was played by Taylor Lane, Roxie Hart was played by Ellie Roddy, and then Billy Flynn was played by Connor Sullivan. Amos Hart's normally played by Andrew Metzger, but in the performance that I saw, the guy who played Amos didn't look like the picture of Andrew in the program, so I think the understudy was on that night. I think it was Josh England, and he did a great job. The role of Matron Mama Morton was played by Illeana Kirven. I feel like the story was pretty simple and predictable, but I think it worked for the show because it allowed room for the dancing and the music to be the center of attention. So the dancing was incredible because it's Bob Fosse. The two women who played Velma and Roxie did a great job telling the story. I think my favorite song from this musical is Nowadays. It's just the catchiest tune of the show, and that song just got stuck in my head. One thing I remember is the audience going crazy during certain songs of the show, you know, the ones that are the most famous or memorable. And then at the end, during the bows, very loud applause. And I always like to get a picture of the board with everyone's names on it. Oh, look, the board does say that Amos Hart is played by Josh England in the performance I saw. So I had a great time seeing Chicago the musical. Comment below if you've ever seen a production of Chicago. Subscribe to my channel for more content.